Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. So happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading will be a weekly reading focusing on the energy surrounding us during the week of April 16th through the 22nd, 2018. For the reading, I'm using the Good Tarot deck by Colette Baron-Reid and also the Soul's Journey lesson card deck by James Van Praagh. As I usually say in the videos, remember these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate with you. The only way for you to get a truly personalized reading, looking at your life, what's going on with you right now, would be to order a private reading from me. So if you're interested, you could take a look at my site, changingphasestarot.weebly.com. There you'll find information about the types of readings that I offer, as well as pricing, or you could email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. Right, so let's get started. We have here in the past position, and usually I don't read reversals, but two of the cards were reversed, and they seem to make sense, especially with the two oracle cards that fell out. Usually I just have one oracle card, but both of these fell out at the same time, so I'll show you those. So sitting in the past position, we have the messenger. I'm going to show you her right way up, but she actually came out reversed. So this is the messenger of fire. Okay, this would be the knight of wands in the traditional tarot, okay, but reversed. In the present position, we have the queen of fire. And the future or outbound position, major arcana number 19, the sun. And the card that was at the bottom of the deck, also in reverse, is the hangman. Okay, so this is also major arcana, number 12 of the major arcana. And the two oracle cards that came out together, you'll see why I say that they make sense, are patience and success. And you see even the colors, right? The colors are very similar on the two cards, and they really tie in with the messages for this weekly reading. All right, so starting off with this messenger of fire sitting in the past position. So this could be, the energy entering the week, could be, going back to the previous week or even a little bit farther for some of you. The messenger of fire or knight of wands is usually a very dynamic character, right? The suit of fire, and you do have two cards which are from, you have two fire energy, and then two major arcanas. So the suit of wands or fire has to do with it's our ambition, our drive. It has to do with our creativity, creative projects. It's the work that we do. It can also be things around the home, such as chores that we do around the home, right? And it's really the suit, or the suit that deals with intention and how we put our intentions into action, so acting on things. It's a suit of transformation, regeneration, and really about, turning or acting on things. And especially this messenger of fire, usually this individual with the court cards, and we do have two court cards here. So they could be people that might be playing a significant role during this week, or even, as I said, in the past position, going back into last week or a little bit beyond. But if it is, it would be a fire sign individual. In the case of a messenger or knight, usually this would be more of a middle-aged person, male or female, but a fire sign. So Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And this person, in the upright, this person is very comes in, is very, sort of ready for adventure, somebody who's very, very creative, somebody who's very determined, sort of this leader type of energy surrounding this person. Also, though, the person, we think of actually call it a messenger, but we think of knights as messengers, right? So usually they do bring in news of something. Sometimes this can be news, related to a job, or news related to a new creative endeavor, job opportunity, something, or just something that you're very excited about. You're very, you feel very excited about. But it's in the reverse. So, there could have been for some of you, a delay possibly in some type of message coming in or news coming in. There could have been, this as it is in the reverse position here. In the reverse position as well, the Messenger of Wands or the Knight of Wands can sometimes be, a little rash. We sort of think of this person as acting before thinking things through. So, with this being in the reverse, there could have been some caution, or there could have been something to do with, acting before really waiting, thinking things out, thinking what the next steps are, or some type of delay surrounding that. In the present position with the Queen of Fire, so more fire energy, obviously the Queen, she's an older fire sign individual, if this is an actual person that you're dealing with. So, male or female, not gender specific in these general readings. And she is a very dynamic individual. She's a very sure of herself. She's very capable. She's very, attractive and sort of energetic, very confident. She really draws people to her because people are sort of, they're drawn to her warm and open and also exciting sort of nature. That's how she is. She's very creative, sort of this creative visionary. She loves, and she's definitely capable of achieving anything that she sets her mind to. And she is in the upright position here. So, if this isn't another person, if this is just the energy that you're taking on the energy of the Queen of Fire, this can have to do with possibly collaborating with other people, creative endeavors, you partnering up with somebody, working with other people. It can have to do with maybe friendship, something that has to do with this, needing to wait on whatever this news was, or needing to think things through. There could be something to do with that as well. But she's a very capable person. She's in a million places at one time, sort of handling many different things at one time, multitasking, but she's very good at doing, what she does. She's good at keeping all the balls up in the air and, and getting things done. And so, as you leave the week, you have the Sun card, which is probably the most positive card in the entire tarot deck. It's a major arcana, and it's a card of success. It's a card of blessings, right? It's a card of, it speaks of if there's anything you have been feeling that, you were maybe unsure of, or if this has to do with whatever this thinking before acting, the Sun comes in to say that, everything is going to work out okay. You are heading in the right direction. It really is a card of abundance. When this card appears, it's sort of everything, everything is right with the world. Everything is possible. You have everything that you need to, be able to whatever this means for you, to find, the truth, to achieve whatever you're trying to achieve. There's enlightenment also, good health that goes along with the Sun card. So this could have to do with, maybe there's a delay here. It could have something to do with health as well, and needing to or waiting to hear news about health, right, or how to move forward. And then possibly this is you with the Queen of Fire here, deciding to act in a certain way. Maybe this is you getting a second opinion with somebody or something along those lines. But the Sun is all about, definitely good health, things, everything is growing, that the sun shines its light to illuminate, it brings its warmth to allow things to grow. So if there is a new project going on or new idea, the Sun shines its light to, to really allow that to prosper, right, to have success. And again, with the overall energy for the week of the Hangman, but in the reverse, if there was some type of delay here, and I do get that we have with the this messenger of fire in the reverse and the hangman in reverse. If there was a delay on news, news relating to, again, a new job or a new creative endeavor, or even if it had to do with, news from a doctor regarding your house, something along those lines, this card, in the upright, the hangman speaks of, a necessary sacrifice, sort of a necessary time where you're in this position. If you look at him, he is in the upright. Yes, he's hanging upside down. He looks as though he's tied up there, but he's very loosely tied. He could very easily wriggle free and get out of that position. In this deck, he even has wings, right? So if he were to release himself, and fall from his position, he has wings, so he wouldn't get hurt. He would be able to fly away, and get down safely. But there's a need for this moment of surrender. There's a need for him to take this time out, reflect, see things from a different perspective. Because if he were in the upright position, he most definitely would not see things in the same manner or from the same perspective that he is seeing them upside down. So there could have been, a time where you were asked to, wait. There was a delay. There might be, but it's good to keep in mind that sometimes delays happen for our own good, and therefore, things happen in our best interest, and not always on our idea of what would be the perfect timing, right? Things happen on divine timing. With this card in the reverse position, there could be a getting over this delay here. So, the sort of the overall energy for the week is, if there has been some type of delay, if you have taken time out to see things from this new perspective, gain a new perspective on a situation, that's coming to an end now. So it's, the delays are over. Things are, especially towards the middle to end of the week, things are progressing, things are moving ahead. And you now have the clarity of mind to be able to sort of tackle whatever this new thing is, right? And now it is now the right time for that to happen. So, new outlook on life could be, getting rid of old ways of thinking, but whatever the delay was, it's over. So now is the time to, to move. And then the two cards that came out on for the week, and like I said, they did sort of drop out together. We have patience and success. So let me read you. I like to read the full meaning for each card. In this oracle deck, the description's not as long, so I'll read both of them. I'll start off with the patience card. And patience says, I accept that everything happens in divine order. Earth has become a place of instant gratification. You must focus on the maxim. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. This card has come to you because you need to learn the joy of anticipation. The process of doing is so rich in lessons. But when you concentrate only on the goal, these experiences are disregarded. Life is an unfolding, and the more patience you practice, the more you will let the universal energy celebrate itself through you and bring the experiences and situations your soul requires. You need to learn that there is a rhythm to everything in the universe, and the more you are living with patience, the more aware you are of the lessons your soul is studying. You are on a path. There are signposts. If you are speeding down the path, you will miss the little miracles and treasures that have been placed there. And the other card is success. And it says, let me find it here. Success can mean many things to the ego self, but the soul only knows one triumph, and that is to love. When your soul is no longer manifested in the physical dimension, it is a time of reflection on how successful it was with that endeavor. The soul doesn't care how big your house was, or how nice your car was, or how many bank accounts you had. The soul only cares about how you express love and compassion. In the infinite wisdom of the universe, the more love you demonstrate, the more you will receive. And even your ego's definition of success is altered. Your notion of how you would be perceived as successful will change. The material things that you thought would make you happy will not have the same appeal. Interesting. So, dealing with, again, I think the card that sort of most ties in with at least the overall energy, and the past energy is this patience. And then the success, really goes with the Queen of Fire and the Sun, especially the Sun, as we head out of the week. So looks like a good week. Looks like it should end extremely well. So I do hope that the messages have helped you in some way. I thank you for joining me today. Just know that I'm sending you all much peace, love, and light for a wonderful week. Bye for now.